The next part of our Meet the Members series, where we're interviewing different JCI Ireland members, starting with our national board. It's really just to hear about different members' experiences within JCI and how they've grown both personally and professionally as a result of being a member and getting so active. For those of you that might not have heard of JCI before, it's a leadership development organisation. It's international and it's for people aged 18 to 40. But you're going to learn a little bit more about it during this conversation. So I'm delighted now for this part, I'm going to be joined by the JCI Dublin local president, Melissa Collins. You're very welcome, Melissa, this morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Anya. I'm just delighted to be here to talk about the JCI journey.
Yeah, I've known you for quite a number of years now, Melissa. You're in it, I think, nearly as long as I'm in JCI now at this stage. So you've got plenty of experience and plenty of stories. So I'm sure it's going to be hard to narrow it down into about 25, 30 minutes. But I suppose going back to the very, very beginning, I suppose I've said it every time we've had this Meet the Member series. JCI is known as like the best kept secret. A lot of people find out about it after they turn 40 and they're like, oh, we wish we knew about this sooner. Or people kind of find out about it like when they're 38, 39 and, you know, they only have that year or two. But how did you first hear about JCI?
Well, casting my mind back to, it was about the tail end of 2014, and I was in the middle of doing some very, very demanding Law Society exams to join law school. So I was living in Cork at the time and just doing all the study. And one day my mum came to me just at dinner and she said, I have this free newspaper just from our local town. And she had been reading it and she said, now this sounds right up your alley, Melissa. It's called the Junior Chamber International and it said, meet new people, get involved in the community and travel. So really, I should be thanking my mum for all of this because she would be finding the free newspapers because you'd find great offers. And yeah, it was just a great, it was just a very interesting happenstance that it happened. So it was in a free newspaper. And yeah, I went along to the JCI Cork AGM back in December 2014 and I saw the new board being sworn in. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Amazing. I actually never knew that that's how you heard about JCI. It's quite similar to me. I saw something in a local free newspaper, and it was around September 2014 for me as well. So I think we had a lot of press releases going out back then, but yeah, I didn't know anybody involved. It wasn't from word of mouth. It was just from an event being advertised in a newspaper. So never knew that. So that's a new one for me to learn today. I know anyone who's been listening to this series have kind of got a bit of a grasp of what JCI is and what we do. But for anyone who might be their first time listening, with JCI, it's so broad. It really is a case of you can get involved in anything. It's kind of, there's something for everybody. So we have four main pillars. We have business, community, international, and individual. And when I joined, I guess I had a lot more interest in the business pillar at the time, but really it's been the individual and international for me that I've really gotten the most out of, and that's really helped me in my professional career. But that's kind of what inspired me to join, was seeing all the different kind of the four areas and how broad it was and how much skills you could learn. But for you, like, everybody joins for different reasons. So after you went to that AGM and you saw the board being sworn in and you heard a little bit about JCI, what is it that actually inspired you to join?
So one of the new board members was going to be the director of community, and she had a fantastic plan for the year. And so I really just wanted to get involved in that aspect because I've been volunteering for most of my life. I would have been involved with, the Irish Guide Dogs, Pieta House, I would have been doing the mini marathon for many years as well. So at that stage, I had a really good grasp of what I wanted in the community and just to give back really and do something different rather than, the academics that I've been doing. So there was that aspect. And also I was just very curious about the chance to travel. I didn't know what that meant. I wasn't aware of how big the international organization was. So I was very much for the community side, but very curious about international too.
Interesting. Yeah, I suppose quite often when we join JCI, we start off locally and you join your local organisation, you kind of get to know people there and get involved in the events activities. And then you kind of work up to the national level, going to, there's about 4 national events every year, getting to know other members. But yes, the international aspect, it's absolutely massive. The amount of countries you can travel to, you've got friends all around the world. If you're going somewhere, even if you've never met them before, you can just reach out and be like, oh, I'm a JCI member, I'm coming here, is there anything you recommend? And quite often they end up meeting up, and you've nearly got your own personal tour guide. I know over the years I've been very involved in a lot of events and projects, and different international experiences as well. But I think nearly everything I've been at, maybe not everything, but pretty close to everything you have been at, and I know that you've been at even more on an international level. With all that over the space of like 7 years, nearly 8 years, is there, I won't even ask you for one because I know that you've been such a long-standing member, but can you even narrow it down to two or three of your key experiences that have really stood out to you, like just great memories that you'll never forget?
Absolutely. So I think probably the first event that I ever attended was the spring conference in Cork, actually in 2015. And I just remember going along and feeling so welcomed, and it was such a big party. And I just knew that these people were very, very on the level. There was great trainings, there was debating and public speaking competitions. So I really got a good flavor of all the different aspects that could be run at a national event. So there was that. And then I would definitely have to talk about my very first international congress in 2016 in Quebec, Canada, because it was my first time being in the green guna or in the green dress with the delegation. I just felt so honored, and I roomed in with a very lovely lady. She's a senator now, Laura Inake, and she took such care of me. And the party was amazing, and the trainings, and I just got a real taste for like the business side and seeing about the personal management, and just learning how to like do different project management as well, like the active citizenship framework. And then I think probably more recently as well, I think our national convention, for many reasons, because Dublin was hosting, and I was just delighted to be able to lead that project and be able to bring a national event to Dublin, which was way outside my comfort zone, but I think it's really helped me grow as a person. So they're just the ones on top of my head. I mean, there's many other networking and twinning events that I've done as well, where I've met people and just had amazing relationships that have been formed for life. I mean, many people I've known for years, and I know I'm going to know them forever and ever. So that's just a taste of it. So in an average career, you'd really get a good tipping point for each of the local, national, and international events, and I would just grasp it and take it on.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. You really do grasp every opportunity that comes your way. Like I know even there a few weeks ago, we were at the UK conference in Manchester. And on the Friday night, we were doing a little bit of extempore, which anyone doesn't know, it's like impromptu public speaking. And we're having a competition. And when they asked who wanted to take part in the competition, you were one of the first people to put up your hand and be like, I'd love to take part. And you really just jumped straight in, had fun with it. And like that, I could see as the weekend went on, you were just getting to know everybody and having such a good time. Just to explain for anyone listening as well, like that, because I know sometimes we do talk a little bit of JCI talk. When Melissa referred to the Green Guna, when we go along to international events such as the European Conference or the World Congress, it always wraps up with a gala night at the end. And we encourage all our members to wear green, and really kind of, we have the Irish flags, and we really kind of push Ireland on the map. Sometimes we might be a smaller delegation, but we make sure that we're seen in our green. And I remember in Malta there at the European Conference this year, a few people did remark that they loved the way always that they know the Irish delegation because they're always wearing the green. And then on the opening night, we kind of get some of the fun Irish stuff, like the big hats. And definitely, as I walked out on that stage, you could just hear, in such a massive arena, you could hear the Irish crowd, and you could definitely see the green up in the audience. So that's what she was referring to with the Green Guna. And the twinning then is a bit like when our local towns twin, We also have organisations internationally that we train with, and we work alongside with on projects, and then we go visit them, they come visit us. So it's kind of a nice friendship that's formed there. And the national convention, Melissa, I have to say, was hugely enjoyable this year for me as national president. It was great working alongside you and your team. And the national convention then it's like this end of year celebration really for everyone, where we come along, and there's trainings and workshops and an awards night. So that's just a little bit of background into some of those terminologies that Melissa was using. So as well as having so many different experiences, and as you've mentioned, you were in Quebec for your first international big conference, and I wasn't at that one myself, but I've heard great things about that one. To organising one of the biggest events and conferences in the JCI Ireland calendar of the year, to your very first event where you got your first taste really within JCI with public speaking and debating. But they're all amazing experiences. But as well as things like that, and all the fun and the international and the friendships that comes with it, we also regularly hold trainings and workshops where really members get to learn different areas of what interests them. So like that, over the last 8 years, I know that you've attended a lot of different trainings and workshops, both when things were always in person and even during those 2 years when everything in JCI was online. What for you are some of the trainings that have really stood out to you?
I would have to say, putting on my my meetings hat on, I would have to say the rules of order are very helpful, because I think even within JCI meetings, because we have a lot to talk about always, we do a lot of work behind the scenes, but I think for life in general, for your own business, or if you're in your own company, for example, I would say that having those rules of order is important to keep a meeting on track. It's where you have a motion, where you stick to an agenda, more or less, and you're just keeping things flowing as well, and you keep discussion as well. So it's very structured as well. So I would definitely recommend that training for any, if efforts being offered by anyone in JCI. I think I would really recommend that. I would also say project management has been very good. It's once again, it's structure, because I'm very much an ideas person. Even though I'm a solicitor by trade, a lot of my work would be quite structured, where I sit down with the file and do some drafting or analyze a problem. But when it comes to like my extracurricular, I'm very, oh, we could do this and that. And then I need someone to say, okay, Melissa, but how? So that's what I've learned through JCI. It's given me a great framework on how to put those ideas together. So definitely anything with project management, and anything with corporate social responsibility as well has been exciting as well. And I'm a bit of a geek as well, so I think JCI admin was very good as well. So any of the trainings that have been offered by JCI Ireland, because they're all friends as well, I've known many of them for many years, and I'm always happy to attend their trainings as well. So there is a great variety for people to pick and choose from. And I would say, just once again, take the opportunity, because you don't know what you'd learn.
That's very true. Yeah, I think that just shows that the solicitor hat comes through there when you enjoy the Robert's Rules of Order training. But it is such an important training, especially when you are sitting on boards, whether it be a local board, national, or whatever it might be. If you're on any committee, like, it's not just JCI that uses Robert's Rules of Order, but it really helps you understand what's happening, and, as you said, be more efficient with the time. And yeah, knowing your personality, I can see how when you're at work you're one, and then when you're outside the other. And I'm that person that asks the question, but okay, great idea, how do we do it? But then I need people like you to have the ideas, because that wouldn't be my forte. So it is funny the way an awful lot of those official JCI courses bring it all in together, and get you kind of working as a team, really, that you all, like, you have strengths that I don't have, and vice versa. How can we work together and put on something amazing, and then learn from each other while we do it to develop our skill sets? So it's incredible that some of those JCI courses are up there for you, without a doubt. You've kind of touched on it a little bit already, I suppose, reading kind of your answers, but for a lot of people, the more you put into JCI, the more you get out of it, because I bet you're working on events and working on projects. So you're learning new skills that you didn't bring in originally. But for you, do you think since joining JCI in 2014, 2015, do you think that it's played a major role in both your professional and personal life? Or what would be your thoughts on that? I know you've developed a lot within JCI, but outside of JCI.
Absolutely. So certainly, and as we mentioned at the beginning, there are the 4 pillars. So I'm just going to briefly touch on the individual because I'm an individual. So certainly in terms of how JCI has set me up, in terms of my confidence, in terms of public speaking, being able to present on purpose. And I'm also a winning member of a debate team as well. So I'm able to, figure out arguments and, see both sides of a problem, for example. So if there's a conflict happening, I can kind of take the points and say, okay, here's where we stand. Now, how about them? What are they going to bring to the table? And how can we counter that? So certainly that in terms of my personal life. And also just in my current job, my immediate superior, my boss, he's fascinated with JCI. He was just like, oh, what do you do? And what does it mean to be president? And, oh, you're working with the Dublin Chamber, because they would be very good partners of ours. So in that aspect, it's like he's recognized that I'm very hardworking, and he's sort of given me great feedback during the year as well. So I think in order to have JCI on your CV is a great, it's a string to the bow, and it's a talking point as well. And you can kind of say, oh, I've done this, this, and this. And then they could say, that's fascinating, Melissa. We have this project that we're interested in. Would you be interested in doing that? Or you might have an international connection that we could speak to or something like that. So the benefits have been incredible for me, really. It's just kind of like in terms of my confidence, in terms of my profession, it's just a great way to show that I'm not just in the box of a lawyer. I have different fingers and different pies as well. And they do appreciate that as well. So yeah, and as you can see, I've no trouble in talking anymore. So, because I would have been quite shy originally. I would have done drama classes, but you keep things under your hat. But now I think I'm able to tell my story that bit better, thanks to JCI.
Yeah, I think JCI definitely gives you that opportunity. Like, I know when I joined first, being petrified of public speaking, and just that slowly kind of building up that confidence, whether it was just starting off introducing a speaker to working up to doing a training to, gradually building up that confidence in something that's one of the biggest fears in the world. So it is incredible to see, how things that you learn in JCI can be brought back into your career. As you said, it is brilliant to have in your CV. You did touch on it there, and we can't let this go on without touching on this a bit, but that you are a debating champion. So just to give everyone a bit of a background, I've been incredibly proud all year to watch some of our JCI Ireland debaters, one of them being Melissa, who's joined today. I think that the journey this year started off in Scotland and Edinburgh. I think it was in February, where you attended the European Debate Academy, and then you came along to the JCI Ireland Public Speaking and Debate Academy, where you got involved in the competitions. And you've been any opportunity since. You've been debating, fun debates, practice debates, online, offline. But recently you went on to represent JCI Ireland as part of the JCI Ireland debate team. I believe you were the captain. And you went on to win at a world level. Can you tell me a little bit about that journey? I know that your debating journey didn't just start this year, but that's just to kind of give a background of how you became a world debate champion. But can you just tell me a bit about how you got so involved in debating and what it's done for you?
Well, as it's a common theme with JCI, you're kind of very gently ushered onto the stage, and you're kind of asked to just give it a go. And I remember that it was at either my second or my third spring conference in Dunleary, actually. And it was an incredible conference by JCI Southside. And they just said, we need an extra person for the team. could you give it a go? And I was like, I had no idea of the rules. I'd only seen it a couple of times in school. I would have tried to be part of the team, but I was just so academic. I had too much on, so I couldn't really do the debating, but I still always had an interest. So yeah, I got the bug back then. And then every spring conference that would happen, I would kind of be either watching or I would be trying to take part, either as a captain, speaker one, speaker two, just trying out the different roles now and again. And JCI Ireland has an incredible tradition of debating champions. We've run a very prestigious academy. And so it's kind of like we're like a gold standard. So I was just like, I'd like to be part of that. We're famous the world over for the gift of the gab, in Ireland. So put it to good use. So it just kept building and building and just practice and getting to know the rules. And obviously the incredible Debate Academy by JCI Edinburgh, I can't compliment them high enough. Incredible trainers as well. And yeah, it was part of it was just going to have fun, going to learn. And then I got a last minute substitution onto the national team. And yeah, we worked together quite well. It was myself, Valerie O'Brien, and Micheál Gallagher, fellow JCI Dublin members. And yeah, it just took place like we're here sitting now. I was in my office with my headset on, with my green scarf on, representing. And there I was debating against some incredible teams from all over the world. And even if we didn't win, we got to the final, which was such an incredible experience. So I'm just proud. I'm really just astounded as well that we were able to get so far. And it was just a credit to the trainers and my team. And it was a team effort. So there's that. I'm very humble about that one, actually.
No, I know that I was in a WhatsApp group with you, and you were having some practice debates before that, and I wasn't there because I know you were doing it up in Dublin, and I was getting a great laugh out of some of the messages that were coming in. It looked like you were having a lot of fun, but they were quite fortunate that you got to attend the European Academy this year. That the restrictions had lifted in enough time to attend, and like that, it was our first in-person JCI Ireland event this year as well when we ran ours, and then it went on. But then to have to kind of go online again when all your practice was in person, it just shows kind of the determination there, and also the ability to just change and adapt to the circumstances. That even though an awful lot of your practice had been in person as a team, the way you were still managed to bring it online as well. So it was incredible, and congratulations on it again. And I know it's just one of your many interests in JCI, but you can always see the passion when it comes to the debate and the public speaking with you. So keep it up. You never know. Might be one of the trainers next year. Who knows what could happen there? But we are very fortunate to have a great background team as well of debaters in JCI Ireland. So I know it's been a very varied kind of few years for you. I know that you started off in JCI Cork, and then you ended up, when you moved for your career and for your work, you ended up then transferring over to JCI Dublin. So I suppose that's kind of the beauty within Ireland. We have a number of local organisations that people can join, and then you were able to transfer to be quite active and engaged in Dublin. But if you were to meet somebody on the street now, whether you're walking down Grafton Street today or when you're back home in Cork for Christmas, and the JCI comes up in conversation and they've never heard about it before, what would you tell someone? Why would you recommend that somebody aged 18 to 40 should join JCI?
The tried and true elevator pitch. So rather, I don't think I give them the actual definition. I think I would just say it's a fantastic organization for people who want to network, who want to grow as professionals and individuals, want the chance to travel, give back to the community. And really, it is what you put in and what you get as well. And I would just say, it's given me great benefit. I would talk through my own benefits. I would say it's helped me in my career. It's helped me with my confidence. I have friends for life. I've really go to the personal aspect as well. And I would say, I've known people who've getting support for their business as well. For example, if they're just starting out, or if they're, if they want to start their own business, or if they're managers, or if they're working their way up that ladder, I would just say this would really work well for you. So it would be kind of a case of, I'm extremely happy, and it's just like, I can't picture my life without JCI, and it's just because it's given me so much, and I've just been able to have so many wonderful experiences. So yeah, I mean, if they're able to, stand for a few minutes and then let me talk to them, then absolutely. So it's just, yeah, I would just really invite them to come along to a meeting, see what it's like, see what we can do for you, because at the end of the day, we're a member-led organization, like every local organization. If it's JCI Dublin, Cork, Galway, Mayo, it's led by the members, what the members want to do and how the members want to achieve for that year. Then it's really up to us to kind of listen to them, and it's all about leadership growth as well. So that would be it in a nutshell. I probably need to grab someone for a cup of coffee instead and give them more time, but yeah, that'll be a lot of it.
Yeah, no, do you know, it's really nicely put. If you did have someone on the street to give them that much, it would definitely, I suppose, make me question, what is this? Everybody joins for different reasons. Everybody hears about it in a different way. Some people stay years and years and years. Other people might only stay like 2 or 3 years. It depends what's going on in their lives besides and where they're at. But I don't think I've ever really heard any members that have ever regretted joining JCI, and that haven't gotten something out of it, whether it be new friendships and a new network, or learning new skills, or increasing their confidence. So yeah, I think if you were telling somebody about that, if that was me and I'd never heard about it, I'd definitely be interested in going along to hear more. Melissa, it's been a pleasure, as I knew it would be, to talk to you today. Thank you so much, because I know it is a Saturday afternoon. We'd originally scheduled to do this a few days ago, but you poor thing, you were sick and you'd no voice. So we managed to reschedule for Saturday afternoon, but I am aware that it is the weekend and you might want to get out and about, especially on the lead up to Christmas. So just want to congratulate you for all the hard work you've done all year in your role with the National Convention, with the debating. I'm really excited to see what the future has in store for you, and I've no doubt that it'll be a great one to sit back and watch. And just in the meantime, I'm wishing you a very happy Christmas, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. So for that, we're going to finish up. The next session will be starting next week. So we have another 3 or 4 members lined up before Christmas, just to tell you a little bit about their story. So be sure to leave a comment if you're joining live, or you can always watch back yourself. So Melissa, thank you very much again, and have a great day.